Hey gang, I'm NATO King, and it's about time we finish Warrior Within properly. See, last time I beat the final boss and got myself a save file where Babylon has been burned, and everybody was pretty miserable. So I'm donning my own Mask of the Wraith to go back and have a second chance at a proper ending. And the key to a proper ending is, of course, finally grabbing the water sword.
Good. This should make things easier.
Well, that time he said the line. And I get a trophy, but then the water sword really is reward enough. Of course, it doesn't have any new moves that the Scorpion Sword didn't have, but it's a lot stronger. And I've only got one enemy to fight with it, so let's go get that over with. With some more manually sped up cutscenes because the game doesn't remember I've already watched them. We've already seen this too. No need to go through all of it at normal speed. But I will slow things down again for this cutscene because it's kind of important.
I know what you've seen, what you think you've seen in the timeline.
Then you know I have no choice.
There is always a choice, Kylina.
Then I choose to live, and for you to die.
Stand down! I do not want to kill you!
Even if you don't want to kill me, you will. The timeline demands it.
No, Kylina. You can change your fate. I have done so. A terrible beast was destined to take my life, but I have freed myself from...
What is that
No!
thing?
How is this possible? I've stopped Kylina from dying in the past. There are no sands in the hourglass. It is Kylina who does not belong in this timeline. The beast is after her now. In bringing her here, I have sentenced her to death. This is all your fault! Could this be? This sword, it seems to protect me from the Dahaka. Perhaps the beast is not so invincible after all.
So yeah, it turns out that the water sword is good for fighting the beast that's weak to water. Who could have guessed? And for once, Ravages of Time actually kind of works, although he can move at normal speed half the time while you're doing it. The other interesting thing about the water sword is it seems to have the amazing property of making the prince not stupid. I mean, seriously, why didn't he just say that? Wait a sec. What? I can't move. Alright, not really gonna complain about that hit, because at least it got me out of there. But really, why didn't the prince just say to Kylina before that we don't have to fight? And the same thing would happen, pretty much. Anyway, all you gotta do now is kill the Dahaka before it gets up. And again, Ravages of Time is about the only way you're gonna do it. And use up my last bit of sand here to finish the job. If I can pull it off in time. Oh, come on. That was one more hit. And now he regains a bunch of health. And with no sand, and apparently very little means of picking up refills, now I've got to get him down to the point where he was before. Not very easy to do with him moving at normal speed, and I don't have a lot of sand to slow him down with. Because if I can't pull off Ravages once he's off the edge, then nothing. And I don't know how to dodge that groin tentacle move. I'm sure it's possible. I don't know how to do it. Plus, I was losing a lot of health because I had the glowing sword. This time around, no glowing sword, as we remember from the Kylina fight. So I'll grab a secondary weapon and try again. Of course, it's two separate cutscenes which you've got to skip through each one separately. This time, I think I'm going to stick with Eye of the Storm. You definitely don't want to fight the Dahaka at full speed, as you saw. But I think Ravages just uses up a little too much sand. Plus, he can easily jump out of the way, and then you're just wasting your two sand tanks. And of course, try to pick up some refills before going in to finish him off. See, I think that one still hit me, even though it didn't knock me back. It just seems impossible to completely dodge it. Alright, take two. Now I've got enough sand for 2 Ravages. So, I should be able to finish him off without a problem. First one wears off, use the second one. Okay, well, what was that? Ravages is still in effect, and he's moving perfectly normally. Some weakness. Imagine playing Mega Man 4, and half the time you use Bright Man's weapon, Pharaoh Man just keeps jumping around and shooting at you. That's what's going on here. I really ought to just give up at this point, but too stubborn. And there's no sand refills anywhere. Oh, there we go. And of course, he's using the ground tentacles, which he does pretty much any time you manage to get far enough away from him. I am very slowly gaining sand tanks, but I don't have enough health to finish the job, no. I think it's about time we speed things up a little bit, don't you? So my strategy for this particular fight was going to be, don't try to finish him off the first time he gets knocked off the platform. Just concentrate on keeping enough sand that I'll be able to hopefully defeat him, knock him off a second time, and then get the job done. So I'm just trying to take off health at normal speed here, not even slowing things down. Didn't really accomplish much. And he seems to be a lot tougher once you've knocked him off the first time, so not a whole lot of damage to health loss ratio going on here. And every time he uses that groinal attack, it just knocks me down. And this time I managed to just have too little rewind ability to avoid that attack. And I can't dodge those tentacles. It doesn't work. Very close, but I'm not going to be able to kill him. And there goes all my sand. So take 4! Another rather frustrating attempt. At first, it's not hard to do a bunch of damage to him, and I'm using sand very freely here. Again, hoping to pick up some refills before the cutscene where he falls off. Going back to my strategy of trying to do a lot of damage, but not using more than the 2 required sand tanks to get the job done. And again, pick up all the sand refills that I possibly can, even though half of them don't actually seem to exist. I can see the shadows where they used to be. I guess they're disappearing, and the Dahaka's influence makes them really stand out or something. But more sand tanks keep appearing all over the place. And then try to pick them up. Maybe they're there, maybe they're not. But finally, I knock him off the second time. Now all I gotta do is, you're supposed to hang off the edge for at least a couple seconds. Give me a chance to, you know, slow down time or something and kill you. I don't accept that one. He cheated. He distinctly cheated. I hate this fight. I hate it so much. The Kylina fight is just a matter of understanding her pattern and remembering what you did the first time around. The Dahaka fight, as much luck as anything else. So here we go again. This is the point at which I actually started a new video capture, because I figured I was going to be fighting this guy for ages, and I think the one I already had was about 40 minutes long, because it included the Kylina fight as well as all of the takes of this guy. But my strategy this time, a bit different. Don't let him get back up once he falls off the platform, whatever it may take. And I guess if you can trick him into using a move that isn't targeted directly at you, then that gives you a little bit of time to get in close without getting pounded. Not very much of a chance. Kinda wonder if maybe you gotta roll in the direction the tentacles are coming from, but unless you're using Eye of the Storm, you really don't get a lot of time. And I think the best strategy here is use Eye of the Storm first to run up to him, because then you're only wasting about half of 1 sand tank instead of half of 2 sand tanks. And then once you're up close, you can use Ravages of Time to get the job finished. But if his health bar ever actually starts dropping again as I'm slicing him, it's like half the slices don't do anything. But 1 Ravages and 2 Eye of the Storms seems to be enough. Now for phase 2. No, just kidding, he's really dead.
Together, we built this vessel. Together, we left the island. And together, we returned to Babylon.
that is yours is rightfully mine. And mine it will be.
Your journey will not end well. You cannot change your fate. No man can.
So that was the canonical ending of Warrior Within, the one that actually leads into the Two Thrones, which was the third game of the trilogy, and as a lot of people have said, functioned as almost an apology for this game.